additional atmospheric and ionospheric laws. Apart from the free space path laws, there are different laws like atmospheric and ionospheric absorption, then antenna misalignment, then propagation laws, feeder laws. We will see every losses one by one. This is the part of satellite system parameter because we need to consider when we are going to transmit the power into atmosphere, right? So, as you know that this atmospheric gas result in the loss of my signal. Why? Because my signal is going to be absorbed in the atmosphere. So, these laws are usually represented as in dB by AA. What do you mean by AA? Double A represent the atmospheric absorption. Alright? Double A. Secondly, if we are going to introduce a loss because of the ionosphere, so it causes a depolarization loss. Okay? So I can say it as a PL. This is my polarization loss. Alright? So these are the two losses. One is for atmosphere into atmosphere and one is for the into ionosphere. Why ionosphere? Because there are ions present in the ionosphere. Due to that, my signals is going to be interfered through the ions which is present in the ionosphere, and it is randomly distributed. So it will going to be cause absorption of my signal. Apart from that, some part of signal is going to be reflected back to the earth due to the different layers of my atmosphere. Alright? Now, sorry. Next is feeder loss, or I can say branching loss. Now, where this loss present? This feeder loss means if I am going to connect my antenna and my transmitting equipment through a cable, okay, through a feeder cable. So the loss present in this feeder cable is known as feeder loss. Alright. So this loss will occur in the connection between the waveguides, filter couplers and the branching grids. Okay. Now secondly, the fifth parameter is antenna misalignment loss. This loss will occur as a result of having the earth station and the satellite if it is not properly aligned. Okay, that means antenna is being off axis. For the earth station, this antenna is known as the antenna pointing loss. Alright. Now what do you mean by polarization loss? That is PL. PL stands for the loss that occurs result of having a polarization misalignment. How? As we have seen in chapter number 5, that what do you mean by cross polarization discrimination? We are going to discriminate what is my polarization of transmitting antenna and what is my receiving antenna sensitivity polarization. If my transmitting antenna polarization is horizontal and if my receiving antenna polarization is vertical, then my receiving antenna will not able to receive the transmitted polarization. So what we need to do is we need to align transmitted antenna polarization and the receiving antenna polarization. And if it is not done, then this loss will occur. That is polarization misalignment loss. Alright? Now, how this misalignment will occur? See, this is my transmitting antenna and this is my satellite. Okay? And if my transmitting antenna is aligned in this direction, as you can see over here, this direction, okay, and my satellite is also aligned in this direction, so I can say that my both transmitting antenna and my satellite is properly aligned. Okay, if it is not aligned like this, see, this is my earth station and it is aligned in this direction, in this, and over here my satellite is aligned in this direction. Okay, so I can say that my half beam width angle for a given satellite will be this, and for the Earth station it will be this. So there is a misalignment of this angle, this much angle. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to simply use actuator to move my antenna into a specific alignment of satellite, because we can't change its azimuth and elevation angle of satellite. We can, because it is far more complex. It is much easier to change its azimuth and elevation angle for the Earth station. So we can improve the antenna misalignment loss by simply changing its angle. Okay. Now, the next is back-off loss. Back-off loss will be present for input as well as for the output. Now, where it presents? As we know that in high power amplifier which is used in the Earth station transmitter. Why? Because we are going to transmit the signal which has a large amount of power with the help of a high gain antenna, or I can say high power amplifier. Okay, which is used in the Earth station transmitter, and we are going to use a traveling wave tube that you can study in the microwave subject. But what will be traveling wave tube? Alright, the same traveling wave tube which is used in the satellite communication. Now I will give you a brief introduction to what will be traveling wave tube. It is nothing but a microwave amplifier which is used to amplify the signal at the higher frequency. We can't use a simple transistor or simple MOSFET or simple FET to increase the signal amplitude at the higher frequency. So we are going to use a traveling wave tube for that. Okay. So for that, my response of transponder is a non-linear. Okay. Why? Because their gain, that means output divided by input, is dependent on the input signal. So we need to consider the back-off loss for the input as well as for the output. This is so this graph represents the input in dBm versus output in dBm. Now, as you can see over here, this is my linear line. What it represents? As my input is going to be increased, my output is also going to be increased. But actually it is not done. Okay. After reaching a back-off operating point, as I am going to increase my input, my output is not going to be increased. It is going to be slightly increased, right? So it should be for the single carrier, this line, if I am going to transmit single carrier at a time, and for multiple carrier it will be like this. Okay. So what is my back-off operating region? This is a back-off operating region for input, and this is a back-off operating region for output. So what is the difference between back-off input and back-off output? So back-off input region is equals to back-off output plus phi dBm. Okay, if I want to correlate these two quantities, back-off input and back-off output. So this is called the back-off loss due to the high power amplifier which are used in the Earth station. Okay. Now, satellite system noise. First of all, satellite system noise, if you want to calculate it, we need to understand what is my effective temperature, what is temperature of my antenna, and how it is going to relate with the noise figure. Okay. So first of all, we need to understand what do we mean by noise figure. So noise figure is a ratio of signal to noise ratio to the input to the output. Okay. So capital F over here is equals to 1 plus TE upon T. What is TE? Effective temperature. And what is T? That is my temperature of my antenna. So if I want to relate TE with T, so TE is equals to T in bracket F minus E. Or I can say, I want to convert this TE into dB. Then TE in square bracket is equals to 10 log base 10 absolute value of TE. Over here the unit of temperature is in carrying it. Alright. So if I want to calculate equivalent noise temperature, that is T, then we need to use this equation. Okay. Noise figure, that is NF over here is 10 log in bracket F. Now what do we by this F? So this F represents the noise factor. As we know that relationship between noise figure and noise factor is both are equated with the decibel value. So the noise factor is the decibel value of noise figure. Alright. If I can say I want to increase the overall gain of my antenna, so I am going to cascade the amplifiers, amplifier 1, amplifier 2. If I want to again increase the gain, then amplifier 3 I am going to place it over here. Okay, amplifier 1, amplifier 2, amplifier 3. So each and every amplifier has specific gain. This is for G1, this is for G2. Now if another amplifier is connected in cascade in G3. So what is the overall gain? The overall gain is multiplication of individual gain of the amplifier. That is G1 into G2 into G3. Alright? So the formula is for cascading amplifier, the noise is equals to G1, that is gain of transmitting antenna. Amplifier 1 into K. What is K? K is Boltzmann constant. In bracket T antenna plus T even. What is T antenna? T antenna is this. It is an antenna temperature plus T even. T even means the effective temperature of amplifier 1 plus K. What is K? K is a Boltzmann constant into T E2. What is T E2? T E2 is the effective temperature of amplifier 2. Alright. We will see an example based on this noise. Before that, we need to understand what do you mean by system noise, antenna noise, and the overall system noise of any system. Apart from that, we need to understand what is a noise power and how to calculate the noise power. Okay, we know that noise power is equals to KTB. Now, what is K? K is my Boltzmann constant. What is T? T is the temperature. What is B? B is the bandwidth. Okay. We are going to calculate noise power. How? Statement is given as the antenna has a noise temperature of 35 Kelvin and it is matched into the receiver, which has a noise temperature of 100 Kelvin. Okay, so calculate the noise density and the noise power with a bandwidth of 36 MHz. So the noise bandwidth is 36 MHz and noise density, that is N0, which is equals to K into T. Okay, it's product of Boltzmann constant and temperature. What is the Boltzmann constant? Boltzmann constant is 1.38 into 10 to minus 23. What is T? T is your system temperature. But over here given it is as the antenna noise temperature plus receiver's noise temperature. So we need to add these two quantities, 100 plus 35. Okay? It is 135. Alright? So 135 into 1.38 into 10 to minus 23. So we will get 1.86 into 10 to minus 21 joule. Right? Now we need to simply multiply that quantity 1.86 into 10 to minus 21 joule with bandwidth, that is 36 MHz. So we will get the noise power, which is 0.067 picowatt. Right? So this is the example based on the noise power and what is a noise density. So noise density is this and noise power is this. Alright? Till then, if you have any question, you can ask me at any time on my email ID. This one. Thank you for